Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy, the one and only, and today we're going to look at the markets. We're going to look at the macro, the small caps, large caps. I'm going to fill you in, so make sure to like, subscribe, and join our private members. We're going to start off with some controversial stuff. We have some of the Pump.Fund streamers, and look what happened to Bradley.
I think that's just funny. Fuck out of here. What the fuck is that shit? I think that's just funny.
Yeah, he's gone viral, and he's made this streamer, this Pump.Fund streamer, has made $30,000 in fees, and this can get dark very easily, very fast. So I think someone dared him to take his hat or something, or just embarrass him on the stream, and of course Bradley had to defend himself, and this is his reaction to it. Pump.Fund is actually heading up higher, almost to all-time new highs. From the very bottom to the peak at top, Pump.Fund went up a massive 190%. Could this be a double top? Are we heading up higher? Pump.Fund are adamant they're going to continue to buy back their own tokens. They're adamant about this. So we're going to see what happens next. Is this going to be another resurgence of meme coins? Are we going to have version 3 of meme coins? And are they going to be streamer tokens? Anyway, let's get on to charts and let's have a look at Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is past this wedge. Bitcoin at the moment looks bullish. It looks very bullish. I know the entire space was calling for a red October. We were anticipating, even myself, for a lull in the market in September. However, September looks like we're up by 6%. We did say on the channel, every time August has a red month, September normally has a green month. We can see it's right here in 2024, in 2023, in 2015. This is Ethereum's monthly returns. July was a massive month for us. It went up by 48%. August was also massive. September, so far, it's up by 3.21%. On average, we go down by 5%, but this is not looking like Rectember. I think Rectember might be cancelled this year. It might actually be cancelled. Like we said on a previous episode, that Bitcoin has formed a falling wedge. Now, a falling wedge is bullish in nature, and since then we have gone up by 8.49%. We're heading to the next target, will be at $117,000, and then finally we can head to the previous all-time high of $123,000. A large majority of folks were very bearish. I had to take the opposite side of this trade and long this position. I am currently up on this position. Ethereum, like we said before, ladies and gentlemen, we said matter of time. Sooner rather than later, Ethereum is going to break all-time new highs of around $5,000. It's heading to my next target of $5,600. Solana has been quietly outperforming the rest of the market, ladies and gentlemen. It has formed higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. The RSIs have also demonstrated the same thing. If you look very closely and we put a volume indicator, the next area of control will be at $202. We are definitely going to test $258. The last time we saw a all-time new high for Solana was during the Trump mania period, when Trump officially made his own meme coin. Solana most definitely is going to underperform Ethereum. Ethereum is the king, ladies and gentlemen. It's not an altcoin. Don't forget that. It's not a meme coin. It's not a shit coin. It will make all-time new highs first. Once it makes all-time new highs first, then the majority of altcoins will follow suit. This is the day we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. I know it doesn't feel quite like altcoin season because the majority of gains happened in Ethereum. Bitcoin has only gone up by 7.8% in the last 90 days. This is the top performance in the top 50. The best performing asset on this graph is clearly Ethereum. Ethereum's outperforming majority of altcoins. Ethereum normally leads the charge, and then finally we have altcoin season that outperform everything. You could throw a dart at any of these coins and they're going to go up, and that's the tail end of this cycle. Bitcoin on the quarterly is up by 7.1%. Ethereum on the quarterly is up by 8%. 0.23%. I want to show you something regarding Bitcoin, and ideally what I want to see Bitcoin do is actually call off. That's what ideally I want it to do, because this is gone parabolic. This is never really happened before. This has never ever happened before. I want it to ideally just have one red 6 monthly candle, because we are seriously overstretched. Ideally what I want to see is a 6 month red candle so we can continue to go up higher. This has never been the case. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 monthly green candles. This is the 6 month candle, 6 month, and it's been green every single time. It's never ever happened in history. We've never seen this. Back in 2021, we've never seen this. This is the yearly candle. We've had 1, 2, 3, and that's the end of the bull market. 1, 2, 3, and then a bear market. 1, 2, 3. So we're near the very end, ladies and gentlemen. Then we have a bear market. We could see a super cycle. We really could. This time could be different. This time could actually be different if we have a soft landing. In 5 days time, we're going to have an FOMC meeting, and there is a 94% chance of rate cuts. It's going to be 0.25%. It's not going to be 0.5%, ladies and gentlemen. Then on October, we're going to get another rate cut of 0.25%. That's an 81% chance of that happening. And then finally, in December, we're going to get another rate cut. This is going to be fantastic for altcoins. This is what we've been waiting for 4.5 years, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin has made its move. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you another chart. This is the ISM, and this is very important for the macro, for the bigger time frame. We are not heading into a bear market. Matter of fact, we're not going to see a bear market for a long time. This is the ISM. Now, the ISM is just an indication of the global markets. We've never been under 50 for this long, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you on the monthly. We've never ever in history been under 50 for this long in history. We've never ever been this low. Once we're above 50, and I've been saying this on my channel for a long time, we stay above 50 for a very long time. I've overlaid the Bitcoin chart with the ISM chart. It actually went above 50 during this period. Yeah. So it went above 50 during this period, and Bitcoin made an all-time new high. Almost peaked, same area. Then the ISM went above 50, and then we had a massive bull market, kind of peaked at the same time. And then the ISM went downwards, and then Bitcoin went downwards. This time, it's actually different. It's actually different. I keep looking at this camera. It's actually different because the ISM is under 50, yet Bitcoin has made all-time new highs. And what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that there are new players now. It means that Bitcoin is not being bought by retail. Matter of fact, retail are not here. They're leaving. They're selling to Wall Street. They're actually selling to Wall Street. I'm going to overlay others dominance in the top 10 coins. So Ethereum's not in there, and majority of other altcoins are not in there. All right, guys. So it's the top 10 coins. Look at that. Look at that. Retail are fearful about the future. Majority of folks in the real world are scared. So they're staying in their jobs. They're fearful about their jobs. They are fearful about the economy. They're fearful. Look at the UK. UK has a massive problem with immigration. We have the far right. We have a lot of scaremongering. People are not making money. Wages are stagnating and they're flat. Inflation is going rampant. We have so many problems here. So, and in other countries, ladies and gentlemen. So people are very fearful. They're not thinking about enterprise. They're not thinking about entrepreneurship. They're not thinking about none of this. All they're thinking about is, I need to pay my gas bill. I need to pay my insurance. I need to pay this, whatever. They're very scared. They're listening to Gary Economics. This will flip. And the reason why this will flip is because of interest rates. The Fed, central bankers, they're going to make money cheap. Once they make money cheap, it's going to make it easier for participants to borrow. Okay. Once they start borrowing, businesses will start borrowing. The times will change. Okay. Inflation will head downwards. And what they'll do is they'll start to anticipate that the future is going to get brighter. It's going to get better. And they're going to be so optimistic about the future. And then they start to get into businesses. They think they're going to get a promotion. They think the economy is going to be like this forever. Nothing can go wrong. And they start speculating in altcoins. altcoins. And once that happens, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves at the top. The very worst case scenario is that we head up here and then we have a long depression for 10 years. That I doubt. Extremely doubt. Ethereum is about to make all-time new highs, guys. Don't be fearful. The herd is coming. The herd has arrived. They see altcoins, but at the moment they just can't spend how they used to. It's not like 2021. It's primarily right now an institutional cycle. So institutions are buying hand over fist. The top 10, they're buying Solana, they're buying Ethereum, they're buying AVAX, they're buying SU, they're buying big market cap coins, and they're going to push it to 10 billion, 100 billion, 500 billion. So we need to, as crypto bros, we need to buy these asset classes and hold on to them. That's the macro play. SPX is currently made an all-time new high. So we did say that SPX is going to continue to go up higher. My target is, as you all should know, at 8,000 points. That's my target. We're going to have a massive parabolic cycle for the SPX. This is the monthly. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monthly green candles. This was a massive scare. This was when I told everyone to buy back into the markets. Unfortunately, many people were sidelined, but I don't want to really show you this. I want to show you something even more important. This is a very important chart. Extremely important. Don't sleep on this chart, guys. What it is SPX divided by the money supply, and it looks picture perfect. Matter of fact, I'm going to zoom out for you and I'm going to show you the last time we done this. And this was during the .com bubble. We peaked at around 15.88% of the money supply. I just simply got a fractal from here. It looks picture perfect. And that's why one of the reasons I was uber bullish during that dip is because of this, ladies and gentlemen. History often rhymes. It really does. So I just simply got the same fractal and I overlaid it on the current trajectory, the current cycle that we're in right now. And we still have some time left. By October, we're going to go up. In November, we're going to have a slight dip, ladies and gentlemen. And then in the latter part of the year, we should be up massively. If this fractal holds, we're probably going to see a correction in January, February, March time for the S&P 500 and then make an all-time new high in July 2026. In July 2026, I believe in July 2026, we're going to see a bear market like we have seen in the past. This is the entire cycle. Every cycle takes 1,057 days, 1,057 days, and then finally 1,057 days. I was telling folks, I was begging folks at these lower ranges around 15K, 16K, 20K that we have bottomed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are near the end. Now the entire herd starts to step in here. If you are of the opinion that we have strictly 4-year cycles, we finish in the 13th of October 2025. If it goes up and makes an all-time new high, ladies and gentlemen, then the 4-year cycle thesis is null and void. It's broken. If we make an all-time new high in November, December, then the 4-year cycle doesn't matter. It doesn't exist anymore. Institutions are here and they don't really care. They really don't care about some 4-year cycles, the rolling of the debt, whatever kind of macro you want to talk about. They really don't care. They'll continue to buy it just like gold. Gold is making an all-time new high, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to continue to make all-time new highs. The dollar is being debased ever. On this channel, I did say the dollar will spike. It's forming a bullish divergence. Price is moving sideways to down, yet the RSIs are moving higher. So we're going to look at BNB breaking out, making all-time new highs, ladies and gentlemen. Next target in the longer term is 1,151. Hyperliquid, what can I say about Hyperliquid? They are a very good coin, like very good coin, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying this, I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid for none of that. I'm telling you the cold, honest, hard truth. I don't give you commercials. I don't do partnerships. I'm giving you the real, unfiltered truth. We've been calling this target for a long time, and we are very close to this target of $81. We've been holding this for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen. From the very bottom to the top, it's gone up a whopping 475% for a large cap. It's now entered the top 10 or possibly the top 11. I think this coin will be in the top 10. I think it's going to be in the next cycle as well, ladies and gentlemen. These coins, they go up even in a bear market. Coin dominance at the moment is at 57. I'm anticipating higher prices. Coin's going to head to 145, ladies and gentlemen. And then we're going to have our real altcoin season. Now, I know majority of your coins it doesn't really feel like altcoin season. I get it. It really doesn't feel like it. Some of the outperformers are just Ethereum. Ethereum's outperforming while the rest is just, they're moving sideways. Now, altcoins, they pump later on. So you should be kind of positioned now, or in the next couple of months or weeks, you should be allocated correctly. We see ourselves Q4, and then finally in Q1 of 2026, we find ourselves altcoin season. Now, altcoin seasons are different. Not all coins are going to go up at the same time. Yeah, you're going to find yourself, for example, Casper might go up, and then another coin might go down. So you have to be able to take profits along the way. If you need some help, join our private members. We're just a click away, and I'll help you with your portfolio. We're going to find you all of this. Now, I want to speak about I called the top, and I also called the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. I've given some great calls, absolute beautiful calls. I called the top right over here. We took profits, ladies and gentlemen. We bought back right over here. We're going to go back to price discovery not longer now. The AI meta still stands. If you like this coin 2 weeks ago, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is definitely one of the chosen ones. I think this is going to outperform, ladies and gentlemen. And I think, my honest opinion, definitely heading to 1 billion market cap. This is not a paid ad. This is how I genuinely believe. I think this is going to outperform a large majority of altcoins in your portfolio. Then we have virtual. Virtual is like we anticipated, guys. We did say that we're going to find ourselves in lower prices. So we found ourselves with lower prices, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the end of the world. We did anticipate 85 cents. I'm looking for prices right over here, or I'll be happy with it to bounce on this trend line. Once it bounces on this trend line, I'll be perfectly happy. I'll buy back even more. This is heading up to potentially 10 billion market cap. Altcoin season is coming. I've been adamant about it. I've been very vocal, extremely vocal about altcoin season, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at the PMI, look at the ISM, look at Ethereum. That's all you need to know. The herd is coming. And when they come, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be bigger than every other cycle we've ever seen before. It's going to be so epic. Every single cycle, I hear the same old debates. Altcoin season is over. That's done. Guys, we're never going to make them kind of gains. And guess what? This bubble gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I placed a pitchfork on this. It kissed my area. I did say that this is a regional top. And from there, ladies and gentlemen, it went down a whopping 37%. If we don't hold, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to enter this trend line right over here at 33 million market cap. By the end of altcoin season, I anticipate that banker will be far higher in its trajectory. Then we're going to look at Cookie. I know a lot of folks really like Cookie. If you liked Cookie 2 weeks ago, there is no change. I did say that we will be moving sideways. I kept on telling you this is the accumulation of a lifetime. It really is. We are just at the precipice of mania. If you're new here, you should be allocating during red days and selling during green days. Ethereum is going to head to my target of around $6,000. Then the rotation is going to start. Once the rotation starts, you're going to see all of these coins balloon. This is our compass. This is our North Star, ladies and gentlemen. So we are anticipating that Ethereum will break out in gold terms. Okay. You should denominate everything in gold or Bitcoin. Everything. Fiat is being printed away every single day. We're consolidating just underneath the 2024 yearly open. We're going to hold above the 2025 yearly open, and then finally head to the 2022 yearly open and form a new all-time high. The real altcoin season begins here, ladies and gentlemen. This is alt season right here, where majority of altcoins outperform Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, and everything. Right now, this is predominantly Ethereum outperforming. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we need this to hold. If this doesn't hold for 88 days, just like over here, then it's not altcoin season. If it falls underneath 75, we're heading lower to this area of Bitcoin season. This is the area of great interest for me, ladies and gentlemen. This is the best buying opportunity that we can have. Now, I know it looks like it's never heading there. I know it looks like, no, this can't happen. What, for it to go down 36%? No. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm telling you, Altcoin is going to head to 145. It's going to outperform and suck up all that liquidity from altcoins, especially some of the smaller caps. Now, the larger caps, they might be able to hold their own. I get it. They might be able to hold their own. They might just move sideways during Bitcoin's parabolic last run. I said that Bitcoin's heading to 145. I'm sticking to that and I'm staying there. A lot of folks have already sold. They've left and they're waiting for a bear market. But me, I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, altcoin season will happen, but this has to head down here. A lot of folks on social media will tell you we're already in altcoin season. No, it's Ethereum season. Ethereum is the one that really outperformed everything. It's Ethereum season. Altcoins, look at your portfolio. Just have a look at your portfolio. It hasn't begun yet. The real altcoin season has not begun. Now we're going to quickly go through the news. BlackRock wants to tokenize ETFs. Okay, this is no surprise. They've been hinting this for a long time. They control the markets. Matter of fact, they control the world. Gemini has IPO'd for $28 per share, valuing its company at $3.3 billion US dollars. The bottom of the first inning, he says. Twins see Bitcoin reaching $1 million US dollars in 10 years. Now remember, this is all marketing, guys. So they just want to really prop up their company, their exchange. So this is kind of marketing. But of course, we do believe on this channel, Bitcoin will head to 10 million, 20 million, 50 million. As long as they continue to print, guys, this thing is going to continue to go up higher. If they stop printing, then Bitcoin's going to go down. That's what they don't tell you. That's what they don't tell you. Okay, now we have Alpha. Gen Alpha will buy Bitcoin over gold. Gen Alpha will grow up with Bitcoin as a cultural and financial native, making it the de facto store of value over traditional gold investment. Gen Z and Gen Alpha see Bitcoin as gold. They genuinely see it as gold. Now, the boomers, they don't see it as gold. We don't need boomers anyway. The NASDAQ listed gaming stock AGAE pops 105% after establishing a DAT and eyes RWA models. The New York-based gaming company plans to expand blockchain payments across its entertainment properties, develop tokenized models for real-world assets like live events and film IPs. So we're going to see more and more of this, ladies and gentlemen. It went up a massive 105%. This is more of an insider play, ladies and gentlemen. Some of this is just primarily insider plays. Retail can't really, unless you're a credited investor, we can't really participate in this. So the best way to participate in this, ladies and gentlemen, is wait for it to go negative. Once this goes negative, I don't know if you guys have pensions or you have 401ks, but there are some participants that actually bought MicroStrategy for their pension and it went up by 20%. Yeah, I know personally some people like that. They moved their pension into MicroStrategy and they moved some of their 401k money into MicroStrategy and they made massive gains. If you're a long-term believer in Bitcoin and you believe that fiat is garbage, then this is definitely a good move. I personally would just allocate into Bitcoin and just get just the ETFs, just buy the ETFs. We've been talking about MicroStrategy for a while. This is going to go negative. And what you do or we do, we buy it when it goes negative. And once it goes negative, then you buy. And I want to show you one more company, and it is Metaplanet. Now, Metaplanet was at a MNAV of 5, ladies and gentlemen. It was at a massive, huge multiplier. And the NAV is currently sitting at 1.32. The kicker is this. This used to be 5. So if Bitcoin was at 100,000 US dollars, then on their balance sheet, it shows that they own 5 times that amount. So if Bitcoin's at 100K, the MNAV is 5. Do the maths, 500. 500 for one Bitcoin. 500,000. Their average cost is 102,000 US dollars and their P&L is 12.5%. ETH is doing relatively well. ETFs are kind of moving sideways. We haven't seen any new money at the moment. However, there isn't a massive outflow in Ethereum. Bitmain is continuing to buy more and more. They're currently sitting on 2.07 million. Very close is SharpLink and they hold 800,000 Ethereum. I spoke about Bitmain and I think Bitmain is going to do the same thing as MicroStrategy. Right now, we're just moving sideways. This is a bullish pennant. This is on the larger time frame, on the weekly, on the daily. We're just making a bullish pennant. We're above all the SMAs, all of it, and we are above the bull market support band. We also have S-sharp. We're just underneath the SMAs and the EMA clouds. we are forming a technical bullish pennant. This is just a continuation of an uptrend. Next target is going to be at $112. I spoke about this profusely. I think these two are going to be incredible. They're going to be great buys. We're definitely going to see this head up higher. The Ethereum pair, I called the bottom. I told you the very day of the bottom, the absolute bottom. Ethereum looks like it wants to head up higher. One last time, we could form a bullish pennant and then head up to our yearly high in 2024. Now, this is a tricky one, to be fair. The ETH and Bitcoin pair is very tricky. Will it actually make an all-time new high? Will it do the same thing as Tron? Now, a lot of folks haven't seen this. Matter of fact, they don't really want to pay attention to this. And this is the Tron and Bitcoin pair. This is definitely the first time in history this has ever happened. Ever happened. And since existence, it's outperformed Bitcoin. I keep looking there. Since existence, it's outperformed Bitcoin. Since existence, outperformed Bitcoin. I'm not making this up. I literally, even I'm shocked. Even I am shocked. I cannot believe this. This is the first in history. And I think this is going to be a sign for the rest of the market. This is going to give a lot of folks hope. Tron has formed, or is about to form, a new yearly high, a candle. Imagine this thing closes above here, not a wick, closes above here. Now, it did wick slightly underneath the 2020 yearly high. This time, ladies and gentlemen, we formed higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and higher lows. Get it? So this is the first time ever. Ethereum could actually get to the higher regions. It could actually get there. It really can. If this is possible, then this is definitely bullish for the entire space. Definitely. Because we've been told by a lot of key opinion leaders in the space that primarily everything bleeds against Bitcoin. But not Tron. Not Tron. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'm going to see you on Monday, bright and early, guys. Bright and early. We got more money to make. Yeah, we got a lot to do, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join our private members. Trust me, you will not regret it. We're very close to the end, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't want to see some of you fumble the bag. Fumble the bag. I've seen this many times. They rotate, they get too risky, things go crazy. I'm here to help, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So wherever you are, love you all. Good morning, good evening, good night. Peace.